Hey guys, ZenT here again with my last Monster Hunter video. I didn't really have a chance to record too many videos just because I found out about the beta too late because I'm so out of the loop. But yeah, this is just a run of Rathalos, sub 10-minute run, which is not that great, but it was really fun, and it's pretty much the only other video I have that turned out okay. God, one of the things that I didn't mention in the other video is I love the Hunter book. The way you pull it out, how the map's in there and all your information's in there, because that works, like I was saying, both kind of thematically and mechanically for the game. But some of the other menus, I feel like they just look a little sterile. The gray, very cold, clean look, kind of a departure from past Monster Hunter games. I mean, that's like I said with some of my other complaints about the game, there are a lot of little nitpicky things like that, but I mean, it's nothing game breaking by any means. The core components of the game are still there, and I mean, in a way, almost nothing's changed. Just those continual incremental steps. I mean, it's so weird going back, for instance, to play one of the older games, like 3U, for instance, which I was such a big fan of when it came out. But going back to play that, not having the extra charge moves, not really being able to kind of slap roll and get a little bit more mobility, it's really it's a very different experience. And then, of course, with 4 adding verticality into everything, that completely changed the game. And I think even just from then, it's pretty hard to go back to any of the games before 4. I mean, the one thing 4, and of course, this game is missing, is the underwater, which I know a lot of people didn't like, but I never minded it. I mean, there wasn't a ton of monsters you would fight underwater, and it definitely mixed things up. So I personally would love to see that come back at some point, but for now, we'll just have to deal with this. I mean, it's nice enough that the game is on a console and that we can play it on TV, so maybe when they do a G rank expansion or whatever the case they're going to do, I mean, that's like one of the questions too, right? Is there going to be G rank at the end of this? And most debut Monster Hunter games haven't had a G rank. So I'm a little worried, because in all the games that don't have G rank, I've always felt they've been a little content light, and especially endgame, they tend to be a little bit on the easier side. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I would totally be open to the idea of G rank as a DLC expansion, as opposed to having to pay the full price of a game again. And it definitely seems like Capcom, I mean, at least if like their other projects like Street Fighter or any indication, they're continuing to move more towards that DLC digital future. I mean, I'm super happy that they're going to avoid loot boxes and anything like that, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So it's good that they're doing that. But yeah, Rathalos was giving me some problems for a little while in the beta. He just loves to run away. I feel like all the monsters love to run away a lot for whatever reason. So that's the reason, starting off the fight with all the traps, making use of the extra flash bugs in the tent, and just kind of basically using everything at your disposal, because I feel like in this game, more than in the other ones, he stays in the air for such a long time. And I mean, it makes sense, he's a dragon, and that would be more realistic, I suppose, but it certainly makes him harder to fight, and in some cases a little bit annoying. And I mean, I guess that is what it is, but I can also see that once the game comes out, we're gonna have you're going to be fully loaded with flash bombs, multiple traps, mats to make more things, and all that good stuff. So it really shouldn't even be a problem. And then, of course, there's the idea of just bringing the, right tool to the job. I was messing around. I didn't get a video of it, but I was messing around with Insect Glaive, and that's really fun, especially for the monsters who tend to stay in the air, and kind of makes it a battle of who really does rule the skies. And yeah, the insect glaive is cool. I also do like, from what I've read, that the insect glaive is going to be a little bit easier to upgrade, which will be nice. That's one of the reasons that I always kind of avoided in the other games. It seemed just overly complicated. But yeah, this whole thing with like the cats, this is really cool. There's like certain points on the map where, I don't know, I'm how to exactly trigger, but for whatever reason, you just ride the monsters over here and the cats will come help you. So you get basically the equivalent of a free pit trap. And then after the monster breaks out, look, they like fall down. So you can just, I mean, you're just wailing on them here for a good 10, 12 seconds, which is really nice. And I could only imagine with, you know, 4 people online, this would just be absolute brutality. But hey, that's what the monster gets for being a monster, I guess. Attacking people. Sometimes I don't understand why they hunt the monsters, but that's beside the point. It's a dragon, so. But yeah, this run took me a couple times. Just mostly because sometimes he'd run away, or that water part that breaks up front is always kind of a little bit of a pain. I like to try to stay up there and not get like flushed down, but it just didn't work out this way. But this run overall ended up going much better, so I was like, forget about it. It's good enough. Yeah, his poison is another thing that's kind of seems more intense than the later games. I mean, it's been a while since I've played Monster Hunter. I quit after 4U. I tried Generations, but I just didn't care for it. But I don't remember his poison being like so intense, or maybe I've just spent so long in, you know, end game on my other Monster Hunter experiences that I just forgot what it was like. And I love how his tail just lands on those mushrooms right there. That's so funny. But one thing I do love, especially with all the weapons, but with Greatsword in particular, is that just the feel of the impact of the weapons. I mean, you get that true charge slash after 2 tackles, and it's just, you just feel it like cutting into them. That feedback that they've implemented is so good, and it makes the weapons feel so weighty. And I love the way they did it. And even on the quicker weapons, like I also use Lance quite a bit, and even with Lance, when you're just doing your poke hop, I mean, you can feel every hit really sinking in, and God, it's such a satisfying thing. I mean, that's always been one of the hallmark or things for Monster Hunter, is just the way the weapons feel, the weightiness of them, the impact of the hits. And that just goes to make combat just that much more exciting, right? It's a little thing, but I think a lot of games miss out on that, and Monster Hunter is one of the few games that just absolutely nails that. I'd say to a certain degree the Souls series nails that as well, but in my opinion, it's not even close. Like, Monster Hunter blows everything away by a mile. And once again, he's running off, so I'm just gonna chase him. And you know, after a while, of course, like all Monster Hunter games, you start to learn where the monsters are going to go. So I know he's going to be going up here. So it's like, well, the fact that we can fast travel in maps now. At first, it was another one of those things where I was like, I don't know how I felt about it. But after going through the maps, especially this map where you've got paths branching up and down through each other, around each other, twisting around, having the ability to move between the camps is really handy. Because like I said in the last video, I felt like such a noob, I guess, because I felt like the maps were too big, a little too complicated, but being able to traverse them so quickly definitely helps. And like I said, I think the biggest thing is just going to be familiarity. Once you've played a map, you know, dozen, 3, 4, 5 dozen times, you're going to know all the ins and outs, all the little shortcuts to get around. And there's also the scout flies, which is really nice. I really like that they allow you to target things, and I guess you can even target items and things on the map. So that's really cool. If you're doing some gathering mission, you just want something in particular, that should really speed those things up. So there's less of this downtime just trying to find, you know, whatever items, little things, whatever mining. Oh God, speaking of mining, did anyone else notice that the little mining, like the traditional Monster Hunter, like mining noises are gone? Pretty lame. Like, why take that out? But hey, whatever. I mean, if those are the little things that they've missed, then I think we're doing pretty good. And this is still the beta. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys on what, the 26th?